The vibrant, neon-illuminated skyline of Los Angeles in the year 2157 stretched out infinitely towards a horizon blurred by smog. It was a labyrinth of towering, shimmering skyscrapers and airborne transport vehicles. Jared McMillan, a repair technician, was slumped in his service vehicle, stuck in the ever-present congestion of the elevated skyways. His wrist-mounted device was relentlessly pinging with incoming urgent job requests. "I'm still about 40 minutes away from the Henderson assignment," he mumbled into his communicator, running a hand through his messy, dark hair. The artificial intelligence dispatcher's voice responded, crackling over the line. "Priority override, Jared. VIP client located at the Celestial Spire. Possible malfunction involving xenotechnology. Your technical credentials mark you as being qualified." Jared immediately sat up straighter. Xenotechnology, though potentially risky, meant a large payment. "Okay, route the specifics," he told the system. The van's navigation system immediately reconfigured, now guiding him towards the impressive silver tower, the Celestial Spire, which dominated the city's downtown area. The Celestial Spire was home to the city's wealthiest people, including several diplomats from off-world. As he grasped the steering controls, his palms began to sweat. 20 minutes later, Jared found himself standing in a penthouse entrance hall which probably had a value greater than what he would earn in the next decade. The wall behind him shimmered with interactive smart paint, while a small cleaning bot buzzed around his boots in a rather worried manner. "Hello," he called out. A melodic chime answered him, followed by a robotic voice. "Please proceed to the personal suites. Caution is advised." As he went further into the lavish apartment, a muffled female voice grabbed his attention. "Hello. Is someone finally here? I require assistance." Following the sound, Jared entered what looked to be a private study. He stopped dead in his tracks. The strange device in front of him defied any simple description. It resembled a high-end clothes-washing appliance, but its casing was made from some iridescent material, which seemed to shift colors as he watched. Alien characters were scrolling across a holographic display panel, interspersed with standard Earth warning symbols. "Oh, thank the heavens. Please tell me you are the repair technician." The voice was coming from within the machine. Through the frosted glass panel, Jared could see a figure, a woman with azure skin and long, silvery hair, which floated around her in the low-gravity environment. She pressed her hands against the transparent portion, her features showing both relief and a hint of frustration. I'm Jared McMillan," he answered, approaching the contraption cautiously. "What precisely took place here?" "I'm Lyra, from the diplomatic corps," she replied, trying to preserve her dignity despite the situation she was in. "I was merely attempting to understand your earthly purifying customs, and this device seemed highly intriguing. Then it activated and now I'm trapped in this spinning prison." Jared pulled out his diagnostic tablet. "All right, let me assess what's happening here. Please hurry," Lyra said, her voice becoming slightly more urgent. "It is rather confined in here, and this mist is making my hair utterly unmanageable." He ran a preliminary diagnostic scan, frowning at the results. The device was certainly xenotechnology, but somehow it had merged with standard Earth systems in ways his software couldn't quite process. "You realize," Lyra said, her tone becoming more playful, despite her confinement, "that this isn't exactly how I planned to meet my first Earth technician, although I must admit, the view is not entirely undesirable." Jared felt his face heat up as he accessed the control panel. "I will try to get you out as soon as I can. Careful with those controls," she warned. "The last time I tried to..." Her words were cut short by a yelp, as his first override attempt caused the drum to spin extremely fast. When it stopped, Lyra's hair was covering her face. "Really?" she huffed, trying to push her hair back. "Was that absolutely necessary? I'm not actually laundry, you know." Sorry, Jared said quickly, adjusting the settings. The integration between Earth and alien tech is creating some unusual reactions. "Well, perhaps try something that doesn't involve treating me like a delicate cycle," she suggested, managing to sound both annoyed and amused. Though I must say, you're kind of cute when you're flustered. Before Jared could respond, the machine emitted a piercing whine. The mist inside began to glow ominously. That's new, Lyra stated, her voice tightening, and not in a good way. Jared, I don't want to rush you, but if you could work a little faster? An alert flashed on his tablet, incoming communications from the diplomatic corps. Oh, no, Lyra groaned. Please don't tell me that's who I think it is. My supervisor is going to be completely insufferable about this. Don't worry, Jared said, trying to sound more confident than he actually felt. I will have you out before they arrive. My hero, she replied, with just enough sarcasm to make his heart skip a beat. Though if you could manage it before I'm completely dizzy from all this spinning, that would be even better. The device's light shifted to a deep violet, and fresh alien characters began to scroll across the display. Jared had a feeling this rescue was about to become considerably more complicated. Jared, Lyra's voice had softened, whatever occurs next, I just want you to know, if we survive this, I'm never going near a washing machine ever again. Despite the tension of the moment, Jared couldn't help but laugh. Well, don't just stand there laughing, Lyra called out, pressing closer to the transparent panel. Her long, silver hair swirled around her face in the low-gravity field. This mist is starting to make my skin itch. Jared concentrated on the hybrid control panel, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. I'm attempting to isolate the stasis field from the wash cycle, but the systems are completely intertwined. How is that even possible? Lyra shifted, attempting to find a more comfortable position in the small space. I mean, who designs a washing machine with a stasis pod? Actually, Jared muttered, diving deeper into the diagnostic readings. I believe your presence might have triggered a type of automated integration. The xenotechnology is attempting to adapt to your biology. A small whirlpool of mist formed around Lyra's feet, causing her to jump. Oh, that's just perfect. I came to Earth to study human culture, and instead, I'm getting an intimate demonstration of your cleaning technology. Jared tried another override sequence. The machine hummed, its lights pulsing faster. Wait, what are you? Ah. Lyra spun gracefully, as the drum rotated again, this time in the opposite direction. When it stopped, she glared at him through the panel, her hair now completely tangled. I swear by the Celestial Council, if you do that one more time. Sorry, Jared said quickly, adjusting the settings. But I believe I'm starting to understand how this operates. The machine is trying to purify you. Purify me? Lyra's silver eyes widened. I'll have you know I took a molecular shower this morning. I'm perfectly pure. A new alert flashed across his tablet. Oh. I really do not like the sound of that. Oh? Lyra stated, crossing her arms. What's occurring now? The diplomatic corps is 3 minutes out, Jared explained, working faster. And the power readings are becoming unstable. Lyra pressed her forehead against the panel. Jared, listen to me. My supervisor, Ambassador Corvus, is, let's say, traditional in his views. If he finds me trapped in a human washing machine, I'll be reassigned to the outer colonies faster than you can say diplomatic incident. The urgency in her voice made Jared look up from his tablet. Despite her playful tone, he could see real worry in her eyes. Through the frosted panel, the azure of her skin seemed to shimmer with the pulsing lights. I won't let that happen, he promised, surprised by his own determination. But I need you to trust me. This may get a bit unconventional. A small smile played across Lyra's lips. Darling, I'm a blue-skinned alien trapped in a washing machine. I think we passed conventional about 20 minutes ago. Jared initiated a complex sequence of commands, rerouting power through various subsystems. The machine's hum deepened to a resonant throb. What exactly are you? Oh. Lyra gasped, as the mist around her began to glow with bioluminescent patterns. That's actually quite beautiful. The Zenite is responding to your biochemistry, Jared explained, carefully monitoring the readings. If I can synchronize the frequencies. Suddenly, the elevator at the end of the hall chimed, and voices approached, formal, official-sounding voices. Jared, Lyra's voice had lost all its teasing quality. Whatever you're going to do it fast. He took a deep breath, fingers hovering over the final command sequence. Hold on tight to what? Lyra demanded. There's nothing to, oh. The machine pulsed with energy, the mist swirling into a vortex around Lyra. For a moment, she seemed to float in a cloud of starlight. Jared initiated the final command sequence, his heart racing as the diplomatic contingent's footsteps echoed down the hall. The machine's crystal interface pulsed with a brilliant light, and the door mechanism finally clicked. I think I've got it, he called out. Lyra, brace yourself. The door swung open with a whoosh of perfumed mist. Lyra tumbled out in a graceful arc, her silver hair streaming behind her like stardust. Jared lunged forward instinctively, catching her in his arms. She was surprisingly light, her blue skin cool against his hands. Their eyes met, silver irises locking with his brown ones. For a moment they simply stared at each other, both processing the absurdity of the situation. Then, Lyra's lips twitched and they were both laughing, her musical tones mixing with his deeper chuckles. My hero, she managed between giggles, still cradled in his arms. Though I must say, this is not how I imagined my first close encounter with a human would go. No, Jared grinned, finding it difficult to let go of her. You mean getting trapped in a hybrid washing machine isn't standard diplomatic protocol? Lyra playfully swatted his shoulder. I was aiming for something a bit more dignified, though I suppose this does break the ice rather effectively. Their laughter was interrupted by a stern cough from the doorway. Ambassador Corvus stood there, his ornate robe seeming to absorb the light around him. Several security drones hovered at his shoulders, their scanning beams sweeping over the scene. Diplomatic attaché, Lyra Keisha, his voice rumbled like distant thunder. Perhaps you would care to explain why you are emanating trace particles of Earth cleaning solution, and why you are still in the arms of this maintenance worker? Lyra's eyes widened, and Jared suddenly realized he was, in fact, still holding her. They quickly separated, although she kept one hand lightly on his arm for balance. Ambassador, she straightened, attempting to smooth her disheveled hair. I was conducting an important cultural study of human technological integration practices, with the assistance of engineering specialist Macmillan, here, from inside a washing machine. Corvus's multiple eyes blinked in sequence. Well, Lyra smiled diplomatically, sometimes the most valuable insights come from immersive experiences. Jared noticed she was still glowing faintly, her skin emitting a soft pulse of light, which seemed to match her heartbeat. The effect was mesmerizing, like watching starlight ripple across water. And I suppose this immersive experience is also responsible for your current bioluminescent state, Corvus gestured to her glowing skin. About that, Jared stepped forward, his professional instincts kicking in. The xenotechnology in the hybrid system appears to have temporarily synchronized with her biological frequency. It should fade within a few hours. Corvus turned all his eyes toward Jared. And you are qualified to make this assessment? He is, Lyra said firmly. In fact, without his innovative solution, we might have had a much more serious diplomatic incident on our hands. The technical implications alone, she swayed slightly as she spoke, and Jared automatically reached out to steady her. The moment his hand touched her arm, the glow brightened noticeably. Corvus's expression shifted to something unreadable. Interesting, the synchronization appears to be responsive. Lyra looked down at her glowing skin, then at Jared, then back at the ambassador. Oh, that's unexpected. Indeed, Corvus's tone had grown even more formal. Attaché Lyra, I believe we need to discuss certain protocols regarding first contact situations. And you, engineering specialist Macmillan, I trust you understand the need for discretion in this matter? Of course, Jared nodded, although he couldn't quite take his eyes off Lyra. Something about her seemed to draw him in, like gravity itself had shifted. Excellent. Now if you'll excuse us, Corvus began. Actually, Lyra interrupted, given the unique nature of this technical incident, wouldn't it be prudent to have engineering specialist Macmillan file a detailed report in person? The cultural exchange implications alone, Jared watched in fascination as she smoothly turned the awkward situation into a diplomatic opportunity, her silver eyes flickering to his, and he caught a hint of mischief in their depths. Perhaps, Corvus seemed to consider this. A full technical debrief could be warranted. As the ambassador launched into a detailed discussion of procedures, Jared realized this strange service call was about to become much more complicated and much more interesting than he had ever expected. Lyra caught his eye again and smiled, her skin pulsing with a warm glow. The diplomatic conference room in the Celestial Spire felt unusually warm to Jared as he sat across from Ambassador Corvus and several other alien officials. Lyra sat beside him, her skin still emanating that subtle glow, which seemed to brighten whenever their hands accidentally brushed. "So, engineering specialist Macmillan," Corvus's resonant voice filled the room. "Please explain precisely how you resolved the technical malfunction." Jared launched into his explanation but stopped when he noticed all the aliens exchanging significant looks. Lyra's cheeks had darkened to a deeper shade of blue. "Is something wrong?" he asked. Lyra cleared her throat delicately. "Jared, when you synchronized the xenotechnology with my biological frequency to free me, did you realize you were, essentially, performing a traditional Cascadian binding ritual?" "A what now?" "In our culture," she continued, her silver eye sparkling with barely suppressed amusement, "such deep synchronization only occurs between." She paused, searching for the right words, compatible partners during moments of crisis. Jared blinked. "Are you saying I accidentally married you via a washing machine?" The diplomatic conference room fell into a tense silence as Ambassador Corvus's expression shifted from stern disapproval to something approaching alarm. The scanners on his ceremonial robes were pulsing rapidly, and all 6 of his eyes were fixed on the point where Jared and Lyra's hands had accidentally brushed moments ago. "By the sacred nebulas," Corvus breathed, "it's already happened." "What's happened?" Jared asked, noticing how Lyra had suddenly gone very still beside him. "Jared," Lyra began carefully, her silver hair catching the light as she turned to face him, "when you synchronized your Earth technology with our systems to rescue me, you used a very specific frequency pattern, didn't you?" "Yeah, I had to match the resonance of your biological signature, to override the binding protocols," she finished, her blue skin flushing a deeper shade. "What you did, it wasn't just a technical solution. In my culture, that exact synchronization pattern is," she paused searching for the right words, "it's our most sacred marriage ritual." Jared felt the blood drain from his face. "I'm sorry, what?" "You performed the eternal resonance bond," Corvus interjected gravely, "a connection so deep it synchronizes 2 beings at a quantum level. It is traditionally reserved for life partners, who have proven their compatibility through shared crisis, which we technically did," Lyra added, a hint of amusement creeping into her voice, "despite the situation. You did save me from a rather undignified predicament." Jared ran a hand through his hair trying to process this information. "So when I repaired your washing machine, I accidentally married you?" "Not accidentally," Corvus corrected. "The bond only forms when there is genuine compatibility. The fact that it occurred at all is unprecedented."